The internet is always buzzing. New trends pop up every day. Memes fly around at the speed of light. We're constantly bombarded with information. But what if a lot of this activity is fake? What if behind the screen things aren't what they seem? How much of it is just bots and AI trying to mimic us? So, buckle up because we're about to dive into the strange world of the dead internet theory.
The dead internet theory is a fascinating idea. It suggests that much of the internet we see is fake. It's like a Hollywood set. Things look real on the surface, but behind the scenes, it's all smoke and mirrors. The theory says that most online content is generated by AI. Think bots, algorithms, and fake accounts, all designed to create the illusion of a bustling online world.
Proponents of this theory believe it started around 2016 to 2017. This was a time of major political upheaval and the rise of social media manipulation. People started noticing weird patterns online. Fake news spread like wildfire. Bots amplified certain narratives. It felt like someone or something was pulling the strings. This led some to believe that the internet had become a tool for control. Instead of a free and open space for information, it became a carefully curated experience. One where our thoughts and actions were being manipulated by unseen forces. It's a pretty unsettling thought.
Let's face it, the internet is crawling with bots. These automated accounts are everywhere. They're on social media, news websites, and even online dating platforms. And they're getting harder to spot. Early bots were clunky and obvious, their grammar was off, and their responses were robotic. But today's bots are much more sophisticated. They use artificial intelligence and machine learning to mimic human behavior.
Think about it. Have you ever interacted with someone online and felt like something was a little off? Maybe their responses were too quick, or their language felt a little too formal. It's possible you were talking to a bot. Now, not all bots are bad. Some are used for legitimate purposes like customer service chatbots. But there's no denying that bots are changing the online landscape. They're creating noise and confusion. They're making it harder to find real human interaction. And they're fueling the dead internet theory. After all, if we're all just talking to bots, is the internet really alive?
Now, let's talk about the big guys, governments and corporations. The dead internet theory suggests they're using bots and AI to manipulate us. Think about it. Governments want to shape public opinion. Corporations want to sell us stuff. What better way to do that than by controlling the information we see online?
Let's say a government wants to win an election. They could use bots to spread propaganda and discredit their opponents. Or maybe a corporation wants to promote a new product. They could flood social media with fake reviews and glowing testimonials. The possibilities are endless. And it's not just about pushing specific agendas, it's also about controlling the narrative. By flooding the internet with their own content, governments and corporations can drown out dissenting voices and control what we see and believe. It's a scary thought, man. The idea that someone, somewhere, is pulling the strings of the internet and manipulating us for their own gain is enough to make anyone paranoid.
Section 5. Evidence of the bots' numbers don't lie. Is there any evidence to support the dead internet theory?
There are some interesting stats out there. Imperva, a cybersecurity company, releases an annual bot traffic report. In 2023, they found that almost 40% of all internet traffic was generated by bots. That's a lot of non-human activity, and that's just the bots they could detect.
Then there's the rise of AI-generated content. Tools like ChatGPT can now write articles, create images, and even compose music. Think about the implications. A single person could use these tools to create an entire online persona, and it would be almost impossible to tell it was all generated by a machine. Section 6. A sea of faces, but who's really there? Social media and the dead internet theory. Social media is the lifeblood of the internet. It's where we connect, share, and debate. But it's also where the dead internet theory really hits home.
Think about your own social media feeds. How many of those accounts do you think are real people? And how many are bots, spam accounts, or fake profiles? Take Twitter, for example. Researchers have estimated that up to 15% of Twitter accounts are bots. That's millions of fake accounts tweeting, retweeting, and artificially inflating engagement metrics. And it's not just Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're all grappling with the same problem. The prevalence of bots and fake accounts on social media has serious implications. It creates echo chambers, distorts our perception of reality, and makes it harder to trust the information we see online.
Section 7. The content farm, AI-generated content, and the illusion of life. Remember those clickbait articles you see everywhere? The ones with headlines like, "You won't believe what happened next," or "This one trick will change your life."
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is probably written by AI. Content farms are popping up all over the internet. They use AI-powered tools to churn out massive amounts of low-quality content designed to attract clicks and generate ad revenue. This flood of AI-generated content makes it harder to find valuable human-created content. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, and it contributes to the overall feeling that the internet is becoming less authentic and more artificial. Think about it. If you're constantly bombarded with generic, soulless content, it's easy to start believing that the internet is just a vast, empty wasteland.
Section 8, the Amazon Effect, shopping in a bot-driven world. Even online shopping isn't immune to the dead internet theory. Amazon, the king of e-commerce, is notorious for its bot problem. Third-party sellers use bots to manipulate product rankings, generate fake reviews, and even hijack your shopping cart. Ever notice how some products suddenly have hundreds of 5-star reviews overnight? Yeah, that's probably the work of bots. This creates an uneven playing field for honest sellers and makes it difficult for consumers to make informed purchasing decisions. How can you trust a product review when you don't even know if it was written by a real person? It's enough to make you want to ditch online shopping altogether and head back to the good old-fashioned brick-and-mortar stores.
Section 9. Can we escape the matrix? Combating the dead internet. So, what can we do about the dead internet theory? Is there any way to combat the rise of bots, AI-generated content, and online manipulation? It's not an easy task, but there are things we can do. First and foremost, we need to be more critical of the information we consume online. Don't believe everything you read. Question the source. Look for evidence to support claims and be wary of anything that seems too good to be true. We can also support legislation and initiatives aimed at combating online manipulation. Social media companies need to be held accountable for the bots and fake accounts on their platforms, and we need to develop better tools for detecting and filtering out AI-generated content.
Section 10. A future of silence. What happens if the theory proves true? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? What if the dead internet theory is true? What happens if the internet becomes nothing more than a desolate wasteland of bots and AI-generated content? It's a dystopian future that's not too far-fetched. Imagine a world where social media feeds are filled with nothing but automated posts, where news websites churn out AI-written articles that lack any real insight or analysis, and where online communities are nothing more than echo chambers of bots repeating the same tired talking points. It's a bleak picture, but it's one we need to consider. Because if we're not careful, the internet, once a beacon of human connection and creativity, could become a sterile and lifeless shell of its former self.
Section 11. Finding the human connection in a digital desert. Look, I'm not saying we should all abandon the internet and go live off the grid. The internet is still an incredibly powerful tool for communication, information, and entertainment. But we need to be aware of the challenges it faces and take steps to preserve its humanity. We need to be more discerning about the content we consume. We need to seek out genuine human connection online. And we need to support creators who are producing original, thought-provoking content. The internet is a reflection of ourselves, If we want it to be a vibrant, engaging, and ultimately human space, we need to put in the effort to make it so. Because at the end of the day, the internet is only as dead as we let it be.